how you guys doing? My name is Amanda, as in who's that? A man, duh. Let's go. In today's YouTube video, I got rightfully humbled in a life experience and an illusion or a mindset that can easily happen when you are in this space, especially when you've been socially isolated for an extremely long time. And then when you do finally experience those dating sort of experiences and they result in rejection every single time, or it becomes a pattern. So it's like the only time I know what dating feels like is when I'm getting flaked on, rejected, swipes left on, that type of thing. When you are experiencing that, it can be so easy for you to actually begin to think you are just destined to be alone for life. And I really want you to think about the weight of what you're telling yourself here. And I've experienced this my own self firsthand, but actually think about the weight of what it is you're saying. I am destined to be single. I am destined to be alone forever, for my extreme entire life experience, for since birth till death, for my time being on the planet. I am such a terrible human that I am meant to be alone for life. Just think about the weight of what you're telling yourself. You're kind of giving yourself like a prison sentence. And now I just want you to put things in perspective. If you are applying this weight, like, I actually might be single and never experience touch or intimacy for the rest of my life, for the next 10 to 20 years. If you're actually telling yourself this, I need you to think about how much pressure that will put on you for when you do go out and when you do date. Now you might be thinking, Amanda, this is just the reality of so many modern men's issues. Like, this is the dating epidemic. Like, you don't understand. In the dating landscape, Amanda, you are just destined to be single for life. Reality is that a lot of us start telling ourselves this story when we are only in our early 20s or when we are only in our 30s. And I'm not saying that if you're in your 40s or 50s, like, you're old, but like, what I'm trying to say is, especially if you're watching this video and you're 22 years old and you've been telling yourself, I'm actually going to be alone for life. Think about the weight of that. You watching this video, you're telling yourself that you are so unlovable that you won't, like, eventually during this life experience, eventually find a partner or somebody to quote unquote commit to you. At the very least, just somebody to like you, and you're only in your early 20s. And now you're putting this weight and this pressure on yourself. Like, this is how it is for life. So imagine if we have a bunch of 22-year-olds that, you know, experience the rough dating landscape, had social isolation mainly from the pandemic, and now those same 20-year-olds are walking around with this idea that I am destined to be single for life. I really just want you guys to understand the weight of what this actually is. And I'm not trying to gaslight you. Like, I know it can feel like that. I know it can feel like, you know what, I gotta plan a retirement plan for when I reach my 60s and 70s. I gotta set aside some money for like a nurse because I am going to be so alone and so single that I'm not gonna have anybody there. Like, I know it can feel like that, but just imagine putting this pressure back on yourself and then going out on a date. You are only going to begin to feel like the date is going to go badly, and you are only going to begin to create so much anxiety. King of Books card coming through in the reverse. You're not going to be speaking your truth authentically. You're not going to be communicating. Six of Pentacles card coming through in the upright. You're not going to be thinking that you'll receive a fair balance and a fair give and take when you've already told yourself you're destined to be alone for life. That means every single date you go on is an opportunity for you not to be alone for life, We have to re-examine what this fear-based part of ourselves is trying to convince us of, because without a reality check, we can think that this is true. I'm not trying to take away from the fact that it can absolutely feel like that. Social isolation plus rejection can equal I'm going to be single for life, but you have to put your life experience into perspective. You cannot be telling yourself this. If you're in your early 20s and you have not touched a woman yet, you're not crazy at all. But the crazy thing to do here is to tell yourself that you now are going to be alone forever. That's monumental. Forever is a long time, especially when you're 2 decades old, just starting out. You might be thinking, well, Amanda, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, it doesn't apply to me. But you have to first think, when did this mindset set in that I'm gonna be single for life? Was it also in my 20s? Because we really just have to put things in perspective. What is going on? When did dating become so pressure filled? With the shame and decay card coming through in the reverse, we have to take into account the amount of pressure that we put ourselves under to get dating right. And this might be why dating isn't working out for you right now, because it's the amount of pressure you're under. It's the anxiety. It's the anxiety of thinking that you're going to be alone forever. With that being said, I am going to be live streaming on my channel tonight, pulling tarot cards for you guys. So be sure to tune in to that live stream tonight, this evening on my channel. Turn on bell notifications. I will let you guys know of a time sooner rather than later, and I hope to see you all then. Thanks.